Let's talk about something that sounds small on paper but is actually massive in practice. Our creators just made a change that most people are going to gloss over. No flashy trailer, no hype marketing, just a quiet systems level decision that might fix one of the biggest problems in PvPvE games. They now match players based on whether they lean more PvE or PvP. And if that sentence didn't immediately light up your brain, trust me, it should. Because extraction shooters have been stuck in the same loop for years. They say PvPvE. They promise tension and choice, but what you actually get is PvP players farming PvE players. And Arc Raiders might be the first game that actually admits that problem out loud. Today I want to break down why PvPvE games keep failing casual and PvE focused players, what Arc Raiders actually changed, why preference-based matchmaking is different from skill-based matchmaking, the risks of this system, and why this could quietly become the future of extraction shooters. This isn't a hype video, this is a systems and design conversation. Quick refresher, Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter built around co-op survival, large hostile PvE threats, high-stakes loot runs, optional but dangerous PvP encounters. You drop in, you scavenge, you fight machines, you decide whether to engage other players. You extract. On paper, it's freedom, but in reality, PvPvE games rarely stay balanced because players will always optimize the fun out of systems if you let them. Here's the uncomfortable truth. PvPvE sounds fair, but PvP players and PvE players are playing different games. PvE players want tension, progression, world interaction, a sense of survival. PvP players want dominance, skill expression, winning fights, reading, and outplaying humans, and neither group is wrong. But when you throw them into the same space with zero guardrails, one group suffers, and it's always the PvE side. Because PvP players don't need the world. They use the world as bait. Extraction shooters slowly turn into spawn rushing, camping extractions, meta loadouts, kill on site mentality, which leads to casuals leaving. And when casuals leave, queue times spike, content dries up, and suddenly the game is dead, even though the mechanics are solid. This is where Arc Raiders does something interesting. Instead of only looking at kills, deaths, accuracy, win rates, the game now looks at player intent. How do you play? Do you avoid players? Do you prioritize objectives? Do you initiate fights? Do you hunt gunshots? Based on that behavior, matchmaking softly nudges you toward lobbies with similar preferences. Not a hard split, not PvE only servers, not PvP only servers, but a weighting system. PvE leaning players are more likely to see other PvE leaning players. PvP leaning players are more likely to run into other PvP leaning players. Danger still exists, but intent is respected, and that's huge. And this is important. This is not traditional SBMM. Skill-based matchmaking says, you are good, you must suffer. Preference-based matchmaking says, you like playing a certain way, let's respect that. Two equally skilled players can want very different experiences. One wants tactical fights every match, the other wants slow survival with occasional danger. SBMM doesn't care about that difference. Arc Raiders does. This is closer to role alignment than ranking, and that distinction matters more than people realize. The biggest fear you'll hear is, this will make PvP boring. It won't. Here's why. PvP players don't want easy kills. They want good fights. Nothing feels worse than killing someone who never wanted the fight, winning with no resistance, knowing the engagement meant nothing. By grouping PvP leaning players together more often, fights become more intentional, more frequent, more meaningful. Meanwhile, PvE players still feel danger, but not constant harassment. The tension comes from machines' resources, extraction timing, unexpected player encounters, not non-stop griefing. Both groups win. Now let's be honest, the system isn't perfect. Here are the real risks. Number one, behavior manipulation. Players might game the system, pretend to play PvE early to get easier lobbies later. Number two, transparency issues. If players don't understand why matches feel different, conspiracy theories start. Number three, meta drift. PvP players could cluster so hard that their lobbies become hyper sweaty. Number four, population scaling. This only works if the player base stays healthy. But here's the key thing. These are solvable problems. Ignoring player intent isn't. This change goes way beyond Arc Raiders. It sends a message. Extraction shooters don't have to be all sweat or all casual. They can be intent aware. Imagine this applied to DMZ-style modes, future survival shooters, open-world PvPvE games. Instead of asking, how good are you? Games start asking, what are you here for today? That's a massive philosophical shift, and it respects players as humans, not just stats. Arc Raiders didn't make a flashy announcement. but they quietly admitted something most developers avoid, that PvPvE only works when players feel their time is respected. The system won't magically fix everything, but it shows thought, it shows maturity, and it shows confidence in the design. If this works long term, we might look back at this update as the moment extraction shooters grew up. So here's the question. When you load into a game like this, are you hunting players or are you trying to survive the world? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoy deeper system level gaming discussions like this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.